All right, everyone, we have Joel here. If you want to raise your hand for questions, first question will go to Mary Kay.
Yeah, hi Joel. My question is, Miles after the game yesterday talked about the fact that during the bye week, at some point during the bye, he's going to try to talk to coaches and players and involve himself a little bit in other aspects of the team to see if there's anything that he can do to try to find the fix for what ails you guys. So my question to you is that something as a longtime team leader, will you get involved or offer suggestions, sit down with Kevin or talk to the coaches yourself, or how, what is your approach to that?
Yeah, we've have ongoing discussions. We have leadership meetings every week where we try and have our input from some of our leaders on our team. And I think we're going to do a breakdown. Today was obviously the game review, but I think tomorrow we're going to do a breakdown of where we're at this season, what we need to work on as players, what the coaches want to work on as coaches, and we had the analogy today that it's a 17 round fight for us, and we're only at the halfway point. So, finding any way that we can fix things, or if we have ideas, and I think Miles has played football at a high level for long enough to have his opinion, and I'm sure the coaches will and players will listen to what he says.
And do you feel like you need to see something, some kind of a change, some kind of assurance that, I don't know, that you guys are going to run the ball more? Or do you need to see a change to make you feel hopeful that this can get turned around going forward?
Yeah, for us on offense, we just got to execute, what is asked of us. There's so many plays where it's one guy each play, where it's like, well, this was called really well. We had a guy open and a lineman gets beat on the play, or we have a great run and we need someone to block, the backside linebacker, and we just don't get to that guy. Like there's so many little things in the execution game where I think if we look at that and we try and improve on those aspects, then we'll see. I know they're going to do a breakdown of the team and the roster and where we're at. Um, and we got when we call runs, we have to execute. We have to get yards. We have to do that to make sure we, as a team, we still believe in the run. And our defense is playing great, and we obviously haven't lived up to our side of the bargain.
Thank you.
All right, next for Scott.
Hey, Joel. So I guess off of that, you talk about the run game. Why do you think it wasn't what you wanted yesterday?
Yeah, that first drive, we had that nice little jet sweep to Malachi. He got 35 yards on that, set up a play action kind of off that, and scored. And then they were kind of running base defense to whatever personnel we put out there on first down. And so I think that limited our run game calls if we bring 11 out there, or we can spread them out and try and pass them out of the base defense. So I think there's those, and then when we actually look at the tape, like I kind of talked about with Mary Kay, it's one guy on a play where it's like we have a double team, and then last minute when the guy leaves, it kind of gets split, or one guy gets missed assignment on that play, and when you only get 12 or 13 called runs, you have to find a way to execute so we're confident, so we can keep the ball, so we can establish those runs.
Do you think there's, when Kevin talks about evaluating everything and we're talking about the run game, could we see more outside runs coming out of the bye? Because and you know better than I do, but it doesn't feel like there's as many of those as straight kind of inside the tackle handoffs.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be part of the evaluation. Like we have to look at everything, and if they see like, hey, it's favorable, we got to open this up a little bit more. We know what Quinshawn likes to do in the run game, but we also have Samp and Jerome that can do things on the edge for us, and just find a way to get more called and be more successful in it.
Thanks.
All right, next we'll go to Chris.
Hey, Joel, kind of off of that, just I mean, we've talked all year about the tackle situation and the revolving door and everything, and you're starting to get some continuity with Cam over there. Jack was back in the lineup last week. But for you guys in the middle, how much have you guys sort of found yourself having to almost try to overcompensate at times during the course of the season to help, alleviate some of the pressure off of whoever might be out there on the edge in those situations.
Yeah, it's kind of getting a feel for how your tackle plays and understanding, some of the tackles like to run the guys around the edge a little bit more. Some of the guys set them a little bit more straight up where there's more of a two-way go. Passing off games and twist is something you gain with experience with the guy, and just kind of feel that out. I wouldn't say overcompensating. There's been times in games where it's like, hey, we got a great pass rusher out there. Like, let's keep our eyes out there a little bit more instead of firming the pocket up on the inside. So it's really a game to game thing, but I'm getting more and more comfortable with Cam as the game goes on. We have a lot of confidence in those guys to, hopefully we can keep this five together and try and build something in the second half.
Also with Dylan, obviously, he's only had 4 starts under his belt. Just in what ways can you as a veteran sort of help him along, and not let everything sort of snowball, the weight of it all kind of snowball onto him.
Yeah, I think this week just giving him some, getting the time away from the building and time off to reset your mind, to have an understanding of, hey, this is a long season. Like it's been 4 games into your career, into this season. And then as a group, just performing for him. Like, so, everything we can get as good as possible for him to have the ability to come in and execute and make the plays he's capable of.
Thanks.
All right, we'll go back to Mary Kay.
Yeah, Joel, yesterday, Kevin said that he is sticking with Dylan Gabriel coming out of the bye. And then I asked him today, you know, why wouldn't you maybe just try Shador just to see if that might affect any kind of change? So the question is, what, why might you think, if you agree with that, why might another quarterback change might not be the fix here?
Yeah, we have confidence in Dylan to keep improving. He's had 4 games, he had some tough matchups. And we want the offense to continue to grow. Like it's not a one person issue at times, so we want to give our quarterbacks a chance. And I think this bye week, give him a chance to reset, is going to be good for his growth, like I kind of mentioned. And for a young guy in this league, like 4 games is so minuscule on a big platform. So we have to give him a chance to adjust and to see what he likes. Like, I think going back, rewatching these games and being like, what plays were we successful with on offense? Like, what does he like? How does he like to move in the pocket? Where does he like to set up? All those things are still questions that we have to answer. And then as an offense, we want to perform better to give him a chance to truly be evaluated.
Thank you.
All right, last call for questions for Joel. Scott?
I got one more for you, Joel. You talked about having limited number of runs. Do you feel pressure is a line or is a run unit that if it doesn't hit early, you're not going to get that chance to let it hit late?
Yeah, I mean, as a group, we are, trying to be as good as possible in every run, and it's just game flow slash, where we're at as an offense where we want to be successful early, so we have confidence to be able to call those plays later on.
Yeah, I do have one more. What did you think about Miles' individual performance yesterday? It's kind of gotten, I'm not overlooked, but gets kind of overshadowed by the loss.
Yeah, it was special. I think we all know, anybody who's paid attention to the NFL, he's the best, you know, defensive player in the league, best pass rusher. And, sometimes sacks don't always tell the story. And to get a game where he gets 5 sacks is impressive as heck. We all know who've been here how hard he is to block and the things he can do on a football field. So it was impressive. I wish we would have played better for him yesterday so it could be a little bit more celebrated. But it was an incredible performance.
Thanks, Joel.
Yep.
All right, Mary Kay, do you have one more or you're good? You're good?
No, I do have one more. Joel, just real quick, what can you do as one of the team leaders to help another team leader, your number one wide receiver, not get frustrated during this time when it's just not going his way right now?
Yeah, I think it's okay to be frustrated. If you aren't frustrated at this point, as a member of the team, like I think that's, bigger a red flag. So for him to be frustrated is fine. I think it's finding a way to use that frustration as whatever type of motivation we need. And I know he's had his conversations with Coach Stefanski and the offense and just getting everybody on the same page. We saw, glimpses last year of what Jerry Jeudy can do as a receiver. And so we know that's still in there, and we know we have to give him opportunities to make those plays. But the frustration, we just need to turn that into urgency and turn that into, motivation to get it right.